What's your Pokecrew to turn combat here? You're watching my Oras Wi-Fi battle, but before we get started, please make sure your RCs come and subscribe. I'm battling Blade. This is our second battle. But before I even get into anything, I need to explain why I'm not bringing Facecam to this battle. The reason being is because when I was setting up the Facecam, I couldn't get the proper amount of lighting that I needed. It made me look like Two-Face. I had one side dark, one side light. It wasn't a good time. It really was not a good time. And quite frankly, I want to bring you guys good quality content. So I'm hoping you guys can understand, but we're going to get more into this battle because I want to show you guys who he's rocking out with and who I'm rocking out with, because quite frankly, I mean, he has the Golok, he has the Scrap, he has the Crustle, he has the Seismitoad, the Hypno, and the Jolteon. A lot of Pokemon that are strong, a lot of Pokemon that can put in the work for his team. I'm rocking out with, my Mesprit, my Cryogonal, my Cobalion, and the Granbull, the Typhlosion, and the Ursa right now. This team that I made was spur of the moment. He wanted to battle me in a lower tier battle, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so I just made this team, spur of the moment. I was like, I feel like this works. I went into Team Builder, oh my god, why can't I? Team Builder, my god, there it is. And I was like, you know what, it doesn't have too many weaknesses. There are things that I can work on, but you know what, all in all, this is a fine team. So we're gonna just head on into this battle because this is a fun battle. After this battle, we battled again, and he beat me. But the thing is, we both weren't really paying attention. Surprisingly, we were both just watching TV. And it was a messy game on my part, so I didn't really want to bring you guys that at all. But he's going to rock out with a Jolteon. I figured I couldn't take a Volt Switcher or a Thunderbolt or whatever this Jolteon wanted to do. So I switch out in my Cryogonal. Knowing that I can take a Volt Switch, I am especially defensive, and I do have the lefties. So that's a fun old time for my no messing. I can eat all those leftovers as much as I want. Now, thinking that Jolteon was going to stay in, I decided, what should I do? Should I Toxic or should I Freeze Dry? I'm just going to shoot off the Toxic because, quite frankly, that Toxic would have helped if the Toxic actually landed on Jolteon. However, it landed on the Crustle, but you know what? It's fine because this thing was a Shell Smash all over my Cryogonal, and that's not fun at all. Cryogonal does not want to take any Shell Smashes or anything from this Crustle. So thinking that this Crustle has its attack raised, I really need to go out into a Pokemon on my team who knows Intimidate. Thinking about that, my Play Rough, my Granbull, does in fact know the Intimidate, so I'm going to switch out and go into Granbull. I need this Crustle's attack to lower, because quite frankly, and I keep saying quite frankly, but this Crustle could have put in the work if I allowed it to. Thank God I didn't. Now Granbull can eat up this X-Scissor, as you can see, and I can just go for whatever the hell I want. If I want to, if I want to switch out, or if I want to do anything I can to get some damage off on this Crustle, it'll be fine, it'll be fantastic. I'm switching out, however, because I know that Granbull does not want to take any more X-Scissors. Even though he can take them, I don't really want him to take them. Now, I was not predicting him to go for a Rock Slide. I didn't really know what he was going to go for, to be honest. But the Rock Slide is not going to do anything. I figured he was going to use another Rock Slide. I didn't know what this thing had. But I guess surprisingly, he went for the Earthquake. It surprised me, at least. But knowing that, knowing he's going to go for another Earthquake, I'm just going to shoot at my rocks because I want those rocks to help me later on in the battle. And I'm just trying here to predict, is he going to go for an Earthquake, or is he going to use like an X-Scissor or something to predict me switching out? Thank God I predicted him to use an Earthquake because that X-Scissor probably would have hurt. I am Psychic, so I do believe I am weak to Bug. And he's just gonna throw out the Rock Slide, and it's gonna do a decent amount of damage because my Oblivious is not really defensive at all in any sense of the word, so I'm gonna U-turn out. I am, one, gonna take out the Crustle, and two, I am going to get the initiative that I need. So I'm going to shoot on back to the Pokeball there, and while I am waiting, I'm still kind of thinking, who should I go into? I'm gonna shoot out my Yogi the Ursaring. Yogi puts in the finest of work in this battle, and I'm so glad I have him. My Guts does activate with the Flame Warp, thank God. But right now, he's gonna throw his throw back, and he's going to intimidate me, and that's not fun at all because Yogi can't do anything right now to this Scrafty. I'm gonna switch out. I'm going to go into someone who can take an attack or two from this Scrafty. I didn't know what he's going to go for, but he does in fact go for the knockoff, and that's going to hurt a lot, and it's going to activate my ability Justified. And it's kind of funny because his nickname is Justice, and he does activate the Justified, but there you go. So, he's going to rock out with the lefties, and you know what, that's kind of annoying because I can't really do much to the Scrafty at this point because he is going to switch out, and he's going to go out into his Band-Aid, his Golurk. And I wasn't really predicting that. I completely forgot about the Golurk. So I was going to go for a close combat. That probably would have taken out the Scrafty, but as you can see, it's not going to do anything to the Golurk. I'm going to shoot out an Iron Head because I want to get some damage off on the Golurk, and thank God I did because that Iron Head did a damn good amount of damage. I thought it was going to do more, but it didn't, and that's fine. Justice put in a little bit of work, and I'm happy. Unfortunately, the Golurk does take me out. I'm going to shoot out with my No Mess in. I am going to go for a Freeze Dry, however, he is going to predict that fine, and he's going to go into In Your Bed. The Freeze Dry is not going to do a damn thing because In Your Bed, the Hypno is his specially defensive Pokemon. Now, knowing that, I have a couple of choices. Should I switch out? Should I try getting a crit with this Freeze Dry? You know, what should I do? I didn't know if this Hypno knew, so the best play was to actually poison the Hypno. Even though it's a specially defensive Pokemon, as you saw, it does know a few special attacking moves, and it's not going to be a fun time for that Hypno, but unfortunately he does Hypnosis me. He puts me to sleep. That was very surprising. I didn't really know what set this Hypno was. I knew that it was very specially defensive, but I didn't really know what this Hypno knew because he does know the Hypnosis. I was like, that surprised me, because I don't see Hypnosis at all in competitive battling, so I was like, well, that's interesting. So he's gonna hit off the Psychic. It's not gonna do a damn thing because one, he is now poisoned. It's gonna, you know, his his special attacking moves aren't gonna do anything at this point. And two, I am a very specially defensive Pokemon, and luckily I wake up, get the recover while he is predicting me to still stay asleep. He's gonna go for another surprising attack, which would be the Dream Eater. I don't ever see any of these sets in competitive battling, so I was very, very shocked, and I was surprised. I really was. I didn't know what this Hypno was all about. It was kind of scary, to be honest. But I'm predicting another Hypnosis. That's why I went out into Yogi. He does in fact switch out, and that's fine. But the problem is, he goes out into Throwback and intimidates me. I'm thinking, damn, now I really can't do anything. I really can't shoot off a Facade. I can't do anything. But I think he is predicting me to switch out. So at this point, I'm just going to try and play a few mind games here. I didn't know what he was going to do. I didn't know what the Scrafty was going to do, rather. I'm going to go into Playrough to intimidate him. Now, the thing is, he actually was trying to bait me out. He was trying to predict me to go into Playrough here. And thank God he missed the Toxic, because that Toxic would have helped him. Oh my God, that would have helped him. So I'm so glad Granbull missed the Toxic. He's going to switch on out and go into Dr. Prune the Seismitoad. If you guys don't have a Seismitoad, I suggest you guys getting yourselves one because I've never used one. But Seismitoad is a great wall that you can have. Now, he's going to eat up that Play Rough nicely. And unfortunately, Granbull can't really do anything at all. So after these lefties, I'm still trying to decide what should I do, because this Seismitoad is going to be a problem for me. If he can eat up a Play Rough, he can eat up any one of my attacks. So I'm going to switch out and go into No Messin', because quite frankly, I really need to stop saying quite frankly, but I really need to shoot off a Toxic here. Now, I did not predict him to use an Earthquake, but luckily I did switch out, and thank God he did use an Earthquake, because I can't, you know, I'm levitating over the earth shaking. So right now he's going to switch out. He's going to go into In Your Bed, predicting a Toxic, and you know what? I was predicting him, I was trying to go for a Toxic on that Seismitoad, because I really did need that, but I thought, you know, if he does in fact switch out and go into In Your Bed, I'm just going to shoot off the Freeze Dry. So thank God I predicted him to switch out, because the Freeze Dry just kind of helped. It really did kind of help lower that HP down on the Hypno, and I shoot off the 2 Freeze Dries and take out the Hypno, thank goodness, because that Hypno would have put in a lot of work had I not poisoned him. He's going to go into Throwback. I do have 2 Pokemon weak to fighting. one being no messin and two being the Ursaring. Both are weak to fighting, and this Scrafty could very well know the Drain Punch, and that's unfortunate if it does. I didn't really know what this thing wanted to do. I was in fact trying to take a risk and figure out if he was gonna use a Toxic or a Drain Punch. Luckily he did use a Toxic, because I'm already burned, he can't status me. So at this point I'm thinking, what should I do? He knows I'm gonna use a Facade. He absolutely knows that. So I'm just gonna predict him going into his Ghost Pokemon Golurk, and I'm just gonna use a Crunch, because, you know, why not? If I use a Crunch on the Scrafty, it wasn't going to do much damage at all, but you know, whatever. I'm going to use a Crunch on the Golurk, predicting that switch, and take out that Golurk, because now his Ghost Pokemon is gone. Now I can go for Facades all I want. I really can go for whatever I want, because right now his Ghost is out. His Harley is going to come in, which was kind of scary, because I do not want to take a Thunderbolt or Volt Switch from a Jolteon. I'm going to go into No Mess in my specially defensive wall, because I know for a fact I can take a Volt Switch, as you saw earlier in the battle. So I'm going to eat up this Volt Switch quite nicely, and I'm thinking to myself, who's he going to switch out into? Because I really needed to Toxic that Jolteon. I really needed to. But he's going to go into Throwback. The Intimidate isn't going to really matter at all, but the thing is, I wasn't sure, you know, what his plan was. I really was not sure at all. So thinking about that, I didn't really know what to go for, because his Scrafty could just easily take me out with a Drain Punch, or whatever he wanted to do. He could really just damage my Cryogonal, and I did not want to put up with this Scrafty at all. So I'm just going to switch the hell on out, because quite frankly, oh my god, I need to stop saying that. I predicted him to use a Toxic. I really did predict him to use a Toxic, and luckily my prediction did pay off, because I go out into Ursaring and I'm already burned, and he did try using a Toxic. I'm going to Facade right here though. It's not going to be a one-shot, unfortunately, but I think he predicted me to go into another Pokemon. I think he predicted me to switch out. Not sure why, but I'm just going to outspeed right here and shoot off another Facade and take out the Scrafty. Now, that was a great scenario right there, because I'm so glad he went for another Toxic, predicting me to switch out, because I was able to take out the Scrafty, and Yogi was able to take out his Intimidator, which it was great, because I needed that. He's gonna go out into the Dr. Prune, the Seismitoad, and after the rocks, I can easily just take out this Seismitoad with a Facade here. And Yogi is putting in the finest of work, but in the long run of things, you know, looking at his team, I didn't really need Yogi anymore. As you can see, he's gonna go into Harley, his Jolteon, and none of my Pokemon really want to take a Thunderbolt. I know No Messing kind of does, but none of my Pokemon really want to take one. So that's why I let Yogi go down, because Yogi, I was done with him. I was actually hoping he could live a Thunderbolt, but come on, let's be serious, he can't live a Thunderbolt. Now, Naraku here, my Typhlosion, I thought could live a Thunderbolt, and he does, but unfortunately he gets the Para. And that's not fine at all, because right now, I'm just going to be stuck in the Paralysis, and he's able to outspeed and take out my Typhlosion right there, which really does suck, because I wanted to get some damage off on the Jolteon. I was going to use an Eruption or something, and so I wanted to get some damage off, but unfortunately it did not work out in my favor, and that kind of really sucks. But he's going to shoot off another Thunderbolt on my Cryogonal, and I can eat that up nicely. Jolteon is his last Pokemon, so I'm just going to shoot off a Toxic here, because I figured if I can lower its special attack, whatever, then I will do so, because this Jolteon is Specs, and knowing after I poison him, I'm like, okay, well, the Toxic might not really help, because he is Specs, but I'm just gonna try anyways. I'm going to try and just lower his special attack, because you know, this just sucks, because Jolteon's special attack is so high, it's crazy, and I'm hoping the Toxic will help, and you know, it does, so. I figured Oblivious could take a Thunderbolt after being poisoned, but Oblivious cannot take a Thunderbolt at all. And that does suck. I wanted to hit off a Psychic, but I was getting very scared here, because I was thinking that Blade could very well take the game back. I'm going to go into Play Rough, because from this range, I know for a fact he's not going to be able to one-shot me. When I was talking to him earlier, he was mentioning how he wanted to try Toxicking, or poisoning rather, my Granbull, because the Jolteon could very well one-shot my Granville after being toxic, and thank God he did not poison me, because I really did not want Play Rough going down to a Thunderbolt. But that was a great fun game. I'm glad he hit me up for a battle. I'm glad that I was able to scavenge, or rather put together this team that was kind of just off the top of my head. I wanted to build a team around Cryogonal, and I did, and it may not be the best team, but it worked out a few times, and I'm happy with that. But if you guys want to battle Blade, his Twitter link will be in my description. If you guys want to battle me, all my information's down below. You can hit me up on Twitter, I'm always around, but I am going to try bringing you guys more battles on a daily basis, but I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys all on the flip side. Bye.